Good morning, everybody. Steve Levy, publisher of USC 24x7.com. It's a blog we have for those that have not heard this particular broadcast since I think we've been around since 2015. We are not a high volume blog. We tend to come on with these little inputs for strategic big games, and certainly this week, I believe we're going to have one of our biggest second tests of the season. This schedule is exactly what I've always hoped for. Tough, you could argue Utah State was not so tough, but look how they played Utah for a while. They're a high potent offense, and our defense definitely stepped up and shut it down, and you saw the results, a shutout. We're going into Michigan. We're going into the big house, Big Blue. I keep watching these odds and I'm like, man, what do they know? And every time I do my research, every time I look at the film, every time I try to put pieces of puzzles together on this particular week, on this particular game, I'm still struggling finding 5.5 points to the Trojans' detriment right now. So giving 5.5 points in the big house. It's almost as if the home crowd advantage isn't there. So what's driving that? USC is playing very, very well. This was all about the defense this year. The offense, I think, is as good as it will be compared to the previous two seasons under Caleb Williams. You have a very different quarterback in Miller Moss. He is perfect for the Lincoln Riley offense, the scheme itself. He is just regiment on his progressions. He stays in that pocket. He can move, he can get out, he can run, but that's not his first thought. He is definitely letting the offensive line know that his release is not going to be at 5 seconds, which we all saw. And so this is all about the defense. And right now, today, first few looks at the defense under tough situation in Las Vegas that I actually was there witnessing. I thought the defense did really well against what was supposedly a high-powered LSU offense and a good offensive line. We held our own, held them to 20 points. So check box A for that effort. I saw some efforts where swarming to the ball. And honestly, I hadn't seen swarming to the ball at USC on the defensive side for many, many years. So it was obvious. You could see it. Everybody was kind of like turning their heads going, is this the same team? It's not. This is a team that dedicated itself first by the hiring of the new defensive staff, getting rid of the former. And we don't mention names here, but clearly letting them build this in their image. Credibility is certainly on the table. Hype is all over expectation-wise, as it typically is at the beginning of a season. I tend to get excited in week 5. I'll wait till week 5 and see where we truly are. This week, the defense may not be as challenged as some people think. This Michigan offense, especially at the key skilled position of quarterback, is a big question mark. I could see USC really stacking the box, just stack the box. They're going to try to run Michigan. They're going to try to pound the ball. And I don't think they have a lot of options. The quarterback play has been very shaky. Our corners, our safeties, even our linebackers, they can play the pass. I think we're still a little soft off the line of scrimmage in our first few games. So we're susceptible to the checkoff pass. And we've been giving up chunks of yardage in the early downs. Excuse me, when the quarterbacks are showing poise, and certainly they're not rushing the cadence of the progression. So I think that's an area we can definitely improve on, but you can't argue the fact that we're averaging 10 points a game right now on the defensive side. 20 points to LSU, 0 to Utah State. Say what you want to say about Utah State. But going into the big house, you're going to have 100,000+ people. You're going to have probably the loudest crowd outside of Vegas to date. I don't think the Coliseum was against us. It was for us. And I thought the crowd was definitely into the Utah State game, regardless of the score. But Michigan's going to be surreal. It's going to be like those of you that were at the shoe for the Matt Barkley amazing finish in the fourth quarter, the comeback, if you will. I think it's going to be more like that. I think the challenge is because we went through Las Vegas and experienced the LSU traveling squad, some of us very personally. I think I was called Tiger Bait 25 times in 3 days. I had the privilege of staying at the Mandalay Bay, where it turns out that's where they had their big LSU alumni gathering. And well done, LSU, well done. But every day prior to the game and during game day morning, we were walking through that crowd. And I don't think I'll ever forget that experience. Had a blast. I met their trumpeter. I met everybody that probably is well known in the Bayou, Baton Rouge, and then some. But boy, the name calling, and then that amazing end of game experience where when you looked around, and we had 5 LSU guys right in front of us, and there's nobody in the seats. We didn't even see them leave. They're just gone. And these were these guys that they would actually turn around and say, USC's not back. What are you talking about? And gone. Nowhere to be found. Gone. So we had to walk back to the hotel like everybody did. It was a 15-minute walk, but 64,000 people threaded into this alley, which I think was actually a street, walking back towards Mandalay Bay, going over the bridge, over the highway. That was almost as good as the game. The fans from LSU were talking all about USC. Also about the removal of their coach, Kelly, but I don't think that's going to happen because unfortunately LSU is pretty much bankrupt. Their balance sheet is not where it needs to be to run a program like that. So paying off a coach, unless the alumni associations come up with a lot of money. I heard it was $63 million. One fan was telling me. And so they're stuck with Kelly, and I'm sure he'll start his little YouTube videos with that rotating stage and hugging the next recruit that ends up committing and then committing to Alabama. So he seems to be good at that. Michigan. I love this game. I think this game will go down as the beginning of the beginning. LSU was great. Utah State, good tune-up. This is the game that matters most at the very beginning of the Big Ten experience for USC. And it will set a stage as we go into other Big Ten locations on the road that we're here to stay. We're not leaving. We are making a huge impact on the conference. You can see it with the standings. I don't know if you want to count those yet, but hey, it is what it is. And recruits see that. Recruits understand that. And this week on this stage, it's unfortunately that our namesake game day has chosen not to be at the big house for this. I don't know how they choose where they're going to go, but I don't think the Ohio State game quite measures up to USC Michigan at this point in time. Now, I'm sure they made these commitments thinking USC was not going to come out of the gate well against LSU. I think everybody anticipated Utah State will be a beat-up game, and it was. But choosing the Ohio State, I think they're playing Michigan State against Michigan USC. Come on now. Herbie, are you serious? You can't logistically change what they've done at this point in the scheduling, but what a shame. But we'll be watching. I won't be going to this game. I got my one pass for the travel ball season from my better half for Las Vegas. So I will come down to a few home games this year, working out that right now. Most of my family is in Southern California, so the drive from northern to southern is one that I've done many, many times. So hope to see a lot of you there. For those of you playing game day, our game day, make sure you log into USC24x7.com, click on the menu button, find game day, log in, because you need to be logged in to check your score predictions and make it happen. This year we have 33 players. There are some that are on the bubble. And when I say on the bubble, meaning you haven't put in 12 games yet. I don't know why you would wait, because anything's possible. You could forget. And if you miss one game in the way game day works, you're pretty much done. We have, I think, 17 players now that have all 12 games entered. So right there, if you don't have all 12 and you miss 1 week, you're done. You're not qualified. You're not going to make it. Top 3 players will share $250. There's no charge, no fee to play. We're completely sponsored for this and enjoying every minute. Want to get this to 100 players. 75 was the goal this year. We fell a little short. We have 155 members. Not sure if they're active members, and we're going to probably go through the database and clean that up. But I think Miller Moss is going to have a great game if he stays in the first half in pretty much the kind of 5 to 15-yard passing zones. I think they're going to be given up. I think Michigan's defense is going to lay off the height and speed of the Trojans, and they're going to respect that. So take what's given. Don't force anything. And I think he's going to need to run the ball. I think that will shake up everything. That'll bring those safeties in. And that's when you get Deuce and all of our great receivers to the downhill side of the game. So hopefully that'll be the game plan. We're excited for this one. I think our running game is just starting. I think they're getting the confidence. The line loves to push. They don't like to back up. In the old days, you ran first and you passed after. Oh, well, I'm old. Sorry. Have fun this week. Enjoy the game. Leave all your comments here, wherever they may be in your mind, as to my thoughts. I think USC covers the 5.5 points. I think this game will be at least a 2-score differential between 10 and 14 points. So well covered. I think our team is ready. I think they are travel experience, although you could argue that Las Vegas might be a home game, given it's only about a 5-hour drive. But it's still on the visit. It's still not the Coliseum. And that was one angry crowd from Louisiana. So have fun, everybody. Enjoy the game and fight on. Beat Blue.